Well, good Tuesday afternoon, everybody. It's a tale of two seasons today as we have one of our first cold weather outbreaks of the season. It's firmly placed in the western part of the country. Cold enough for snow today in most of Colorado and very close to Denver, as a matter of fact. We also have some snow flying out in Idaho. Just kind of a sign of what's to come here. But Mother Nature's still holding on to some warmer weather as well. Tropical, in fact, as we have our Hurricane Michael, now moving into the Gulf of Mexico. We also have Nadine, our new system on the map, and Leslie, which we've been talking about now for about 2.5 weeks, still meandering in the middle of the ocean and looks to be destined for a trip to Europe over the next couple of days. Matter of fact, we can put these systems into motion here, and you can see, well, first we'll talk about Michael and the latest advisory for Michael. This is as of 11 o'clock this morning. It was a Category 2 hurricane at that point, sustained winds of 110 miles per hour. Expected to strengthen a bit now before it heads to the Florida Panhandle by tomorrow and could come in as a Category 3 hurricane. And also you notice this track very close to areas that were affected by Florence in the Carolinas before the system moves off south of New England later on this week. We'll talk about the potential effects of that in just a moment. Here you can see on Futurecast where we believe Michael will be going. We may actually have more of an effect, believe it or not, from this storm. This is Sergio out in the Pacific Ocean, which normally these storms head out towards Hawaii, but this one's actually taking a right turn, a hard right turn, and will be moving across the Baja, and believe it or not, will be heading towards El Paso, Texas over the next couple of days before making its way across the country, tapping into some of this colder air and perhaps bringing a snowstorm to parts of the Great Lakes and Northeast by the time we get to early next week. And then here is Nadine, which will be stalling out in the middle of the ocean. So Michael, over the next 24 hours, will be definitely affecting most of the eastern Gulf of Mexico. We have storm surge warnings out for a good chunk of the Gulf Coast of Florida. As Michael makes its way through the southeast, he'll start to lose a little bit, but then notice him reemerging off the Carolina coastline still as potentially a tropical storm. This is by the time we get to later on Thursday into Friday. If it remains a tropical storm, it will probably remain a smaller core, which means the effects on New England will be minimal. If this were to transition towards an extratropical storm, become more of a nor'easter, we could see a bit more from the system. However, there's actually two things going on. We have the system itself, which is expected again to bring most of its heavier rains off to our south and east, but we have an area of convergence now that's going to be caused by this strong tropical system and also a strong cold front that's going to be moving off to the east. And as you can see, this little dash area just south of Philly by Thursday afternoon is going to be approaching Philadelphia, New York City, and could approach the south coast of New England by overnight Thursday night into Friday morning. It's not a guarantee for Bridgewater. I think most of it will stay just to our south, but it is something we have to monitor over the next day or so and see if this does come a bit closer. If it does, we could have some downpours, mainly overnight Thursday night into Friday morning. Again, here is Sergio that will be making its way across the country, and we may hear from Sergio by early next week. So with all this tropical weather near us, you can imagine temperatures are a bit warmer than you would expect for this time of year. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Bridgewater looking for a low of 65 under some hazy skies, believe it or not, for this mid-October evening. Tomorrow, with those temperatures already starting on the warm side, they're going to rebound pretty quickly and head up towards 80 degrees for a high in Bridgewater. And they could be in the lower 80s as we head up towards the Merrimack Valley in southern New Hampshire. That's why they've had so much trouble getting foliage up in New Hampshire, by the way. Temperatures have been just too warm, and they'll continue to be that way. For us, the warm weather will be fairly short-lived. It will be here again through probably Thursday morning. Then that front starts to move through here. Rain breaks out later Thursday afternoon. Again, we have the chance for that rain to be enhanced a bit here Thursday night into Friday morning. And then once Michael moves by, it's going to bring down all that cold air that's just off to our west, so that by the time we get to Friday night, temperatures will be settling down into the mid-40s. Saturday, we will struggle to get out of the 50s for highs despite all of that sunshine. And I think we have a very good chance of seeing a frost, perhaps a killing frost, by Saturday night with temperatures dipping down into the 30s before we start to rebound on Sunday.